Witam wszystkich. Jest ze mną dzisiaj międzynarodowa gwiazda gitary, szczególnie jeśli chodzi o muzykę rockową i metalową. Gitarzysta zespołu Sacred Mother Tongue, znany również ze swoich występów solowych, a także z prowadzenia różnych szkółek, czyli realizuje się tutaj jako nauczyciel. Panie i panowie, Andy James dzisiaj tutaj ze mną. Hi Andy. First of all, thank you for the acceptance of my invitation. And the thing I want to know is how to achieve such a spectacular level when it comes to talk about your guitar technique. Okay. So do you live in something like another dimension and have additional 24 hours to practice, or how it looks like in practice?
I was sort of at like a boarding school at the time, so there was a lot of sort of time where I could just pick up a guitar and play and practice. And then when I left, I just I don't know. Like, I mean, when I went to college, I did like 2 years of college, and that's when I really started putting in, the proper practice for like, doing, more up tempo sort of techniques and more difficult stuff. I mean, before then, I was still practicing a lot, but I was doing a lot more kind of rockier stuff. It wasn't really until I got to college when I was about 16 when I started, learning about. All the sort of rock guitar players that influenced that more technical side of my playing.
You're extremely precise. How you can do that?
Well, when I have another few drinks, yeah. I don't know really. I spend a lot of time sort of doing alternate picking, that kind of stuff, sweeping, tapping. I don't know, what was the question again? I sort of forgot because I'm being put off. There's people trying to put me off. There you go, look, you've done it. They've put me off.
Practicing, yeah, be as efficient as it's possible when it comes to talk about.
Well, practicing. I mean, I spend a lot of time sort of like just jamming over backing tracks and listening to records and trying to get to grips with like some of the players that have inspired me to play over the years. So, yeah, it literally is just a case of sitting there with a guitar, focusing on one particular thing, and then just playing until I can sort of at least nail it or get close to what it is I'm doing. There's no magic formula really. I guess it's just, music sort of runs in my family, so I guess I probably had a head start with having like a sort of natural ability for understanding music and all that kind of stuff.
So maybe tell us something more about your first steps connected with music.
My dad, he used to play piano a little bit and stuff, but I guess it kind of almost sort of skipped a generation to me. So I was already kind of banging around on the piano a little bit, and so I did actually start taking piano lessons and trying to develop that. But then I got into like Guns N' Roses and my rock stuff and that, and the guitar just, I don't know, for some reason just spoke to me a bit more than the piano. I mean, the piano was just something I was doing because I knew I had some ability. But yeah, and then I just got into playing. I mean, it didn't take long for me to get like a few chords under my hands and stuff like that. It didn't feel weird. Even the first time I picked up a guitar, it wasn't like, I don't know. So it kind of made sense in a way. But having never touched the instrument or even knowing what to do, because I'm quite a visual person. So if someone shows me, it's the same with driving a car. Someone would just show me what to do, and I'd just get in and do it. So it'd be the same with guitar really. It's like some people would sort of like show me some stuff, and I'd be like, oh right, okay, yeah. And then just pick it up. So even now, if like I'm in a rehearsal and another guitar player comes in and goes, oh yeah, the song goes like this, they just play it once, and then I'd be like, oh okay, and just play it. So I guess that's how I've learned the guitar really, through just watching other people and then copying it, and then developing my ear and stuff as it's gone on.
You do it great. So people grow up and they are no longer children. There are so many things to do in life. We have families, we have family plans. How to mix it with music?
Well, I don't have a big family. you know, so I don't have any brothers or sisters or anything like that, so I was never like, you know, fighting over, I don't know, anything really. So yeah, I just had a lot of time on my own. I spent a lot of time on my own anyway. I didn't really used to go out that much when I was a kid, you know, with friends and stuff. I mean, I had friends obviously, but I didn't really go out and do like loads of sort of like, you know, sports or anything like that. When I got into music, it was literally when I wasn't you know, having like dinner or sleeping or going to school, I'd be playing guitar, even on the toilet. Yeah, but when I got older, I mean, I was in school. I just come home from school, college. I mean, I spent all day doing music, and then I would come home and spend all night doing music, unless it was the weekend and I'd go with my friends. But, so I was playing all day and playing all night for solid for like 2 years once I went to college, and then I kind of had like various jobs after that. But then I just juggled that and, you know, various girlfriends and stuff. But, you know, guitar's always come first anyway, because it's my job, it's what I do anyway. But it's also my hobby. It's also my, you know, kind of escapism if I'm, you know, a bit pissed off or whatever, you know, just grab a guitar and come shred. Yeah, basically, yeah. So, you know, whoever says there's no shred in emotion in shred is kind of wrong, because there is an emotion. It's just not, you know, a kind of floaty, bendy one. It's one of anger. You know what I mean? So I guess it's slightly annoying for some, you know, because when I've got a guitar in my hand and someone's talking to me, I completely just zone out. I don't even listen to them, you know, half the time. So yeah, like, say like an ex-girlfriend or something will say, oh yeah, I told you we were going to do this, we were going to go and do that and go and do the other, and it's like, well, did I have a guitar in my hand? Probably. Well, that's why I don't remember, because you're talking to me when I'm not concentrating on what you're saying. So yeah, stuff like that. But I think I'll always be obsessed with guitar. Do you know what I mean? I'm always obsessed with trying to get better, trying to learn new things. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think that's ever going to die.
Okay, you are a modern player. You have become known mainly thanks to the internet.
Yeah.
But of course, besides your musical abilities, all your videos, all your skills, stuff like that. How to develop a musical career today?
Christ. Well, I fell into it really. I mean, like I say, I was doing like proper work. I worked for this insurance company. I thought, well, you know, playing in local cover bands and going out on the weekends and earning money playing other people's music. But obviously, behind all that, I've been doing a lot of practicing with the technique and all the rest of it. And I knew that it was kind of, with all that practicing and stuff, that I wanted to actually do music for a living. I didn't really have an in, you know, as to how I was going to actually get into the industry and make a living out of it. So I did this competition anyway, and long story short, I ended up winning it. And then I got to meet the guys from Ernie Ball, one of which was Jamie Humphries, who worked for Lick Library. But I quit my job because I decided that I wanted to just sort of like teach locally, you know, teach kids and stuff. So I quit my job, started doing that, and then soon after that, after I'd done the competition and met Jamie, he actually called me and said, you know, Lick Library looking for somebody to do, you know, the kind of more technical, heavier stuff for the site. Because I think the first lesson I ever taught on camera was Get the Funk Out by Extreme, and it was probably wrong, but at the time I'd never done anything like that. I just went in, they wanted to see how I came across on camera, how it worked, and that was it. And then I just started working for Lick Library, and you know, they gave me a few projects. You know, they gave me my own set of DVDs and stuff, and it all just snowballed from there really. And I've done probably about 40 DVDs now. I got like, you know, regular money from Lick Library, and it was pretty good. You know, you can live on it. And I was with my sort of like fiance at the time. We had a flat and stuff. She supported me through basically just quitting my job, because she had a full-time job, and she was like, well, look, you know, some stuff for Jam Play in America, been to the NAMM show, played for, you know, got involved with ESP when I was with Sacred Mother Tongue. Been with them for about 5 or 6 years now, something like that maybe. And that's it, you know, all these kind of things just sort of like happen. But doing the Lick Library thing, I had no idea that the reaction to my stuff you know, the stuff that I was teaching would be so immediate, you know, because the stuff was getting put on YouTube and stuff. And, you know, I set up a MySpace page and then people start messaging going, oh, I've seen your stuff on YouTube and all this kind of stuff. It was pretty quick, you know, from having recorded like the first few videos and DVDs to people actually starting to see me and what I was doing.
Can you tell us something more about your guitars, your gear, your amplifiers, and stuff like that? Your effects?
Well, I'm using the DV Mark multi-amp gear at the moment, which is I don't know if that's in shape.
I hope it.
Yeah.
We can see.
Yeah, I got into that about a couple of years ago at a Frankfurt music show, and I'd seen Ola England doing a gear demo for him, and I also saw some stuff that Marco had done. And I was like, oh God, you know, I've got to try out this piece of gear because it sounds amazing. And I just loved how it felt, you know what I mean? It just sounded great. So I started using that for all the live Sacred Mother Tongue stuff. And I mean, I use like 2 sounds live. It's fucking loud and then even fucking louder with a bit of delay on it. So there's loads of different amps in there, loads of different effects. So if I wanted to add some more stuff, I mean, I've done a few other gigs as well, like sort of session gigs where I've needed to use more sounds and change patches and stuff.
Why ESP?
I had like an early ball John Petrucci guitar, which I did the first single with. The first single with, and it was like 2 songs. And then the guy recording it, Scott, said, "Do you know what?" He said, "I reckon you need something that's better suited for this music." Not saying that the Petrucci model in any way, shape, or form is a shit guitar, and it's not good for metal. It just wasn't. It wasn't the right sound for what we wanted. So he hooked me up with Kelly from Selectron, which is the UK distributor for ESP. And we had a conversation. He gave me a really good deal on a guitar, which I paid for, and put me forward for like a full artist deal. And that went through pretty quick. You know, the guys in America had seen some videos. They already sort of knew who I was anyway. And they were like, well, yeah, you know, let's get him on board. It was only really a few years after being with ESP and doing some NAMM shows and stuff that they actually came to me and said, well, look, you know, we've been talking about this idea of doing a signature guitar. And at the time, I was like, kind of blown away really, because I mean, you got people like, you know, James Hetfield, Kirk Hammett, and you know, Gus G and all that, and then they wanted to give me a signature guitar, so I was like, well, I didn't say no obviously, but yeah, so it was great, you know, and we talked about some designs. We didn't really change anything about, you know, say like, you know, neck width or anything like that. We just talked about the paint. The pickups was the last thing to be added to the 6-string version, because initially I had an 85 in the bridge and a 60 in the neck. You know, I want something from EMG, but it's got like a more vintage look, so it'll go in his Les Pauls. So they'd already been doing the James Hetfield ones, which have kind of got the same finish on them and stuff, but they're not the same pickups.
Tell us about your plans for near future connected with music.
Well, I've got some more filming and stuff to do for the Academy when I get back off this tour with Marco. So, you know, we've got, you know, new content, new stuff happening all the time with new things. That's kind of like my main sort of like business, if you like. I'm sort of focusing a lot of my attention on getting, you know, really good content for the site and kind of building it up. So that I've got a tour coming up in November, which is in China. A couple of those shows actually opening for Mr. Big, believe it or not. So that'll be cool. And then yeah, I've got a couple of new bands actually. It's kind of his side project, and we've been talking about doing an album. Yeah, there's loads of stuff happening going into next year as well, so keep me busy.
Thank you very much for this conversation, and good luck.
It's alright, cheers mate. Thanks.